Section 32 of A Guidebook of Art, Architecture, and Historic Interests in Pennsylvania, edited by Margaretta Archambault. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Read by Tatiana Chichilla. Adams County. Formed January 22, 1800. Named for John Adams, then President of the United States. Notable for the Battle of Gettysburg. Chief industry, agriculture. County seat, Gettysburg. Founded in 1786. Population 4,439. First court held in residence of General James Geddes. Present courthouse contains portraits of Justices Marshall and Gibson. Federal building, the post office, marble, Corinthian. Architect J. Knox Taylor, Washington, D.C. Contains interesting battlefield museum, maps, and miniature reproductions. The United States Battlefield Commission has offices here. The Wills Building, at the corner of Center Square and Lincoln Highway, is where President Lincoln stayed November 1863 before his famous address. Presbyterian Church, nearly 176 years old, where President Lincoln worshipped November 19, 1863, the pew he occupied has a bronze plate, church used as hospital during the battle. Lutheran Theological Seminary, west of town on Seminary Ridge, contains large copy of Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper, painted by the late James B. Sword, Philadelphia, also used as hospital by Union soldiers. It is said that General Lee took observations from its tower. Near, in Reynolds Grove, General John F. Reynolds was killed, place marked by bronze equestrian statue, sculptor H. K. Bush Brown. In the Dobbin House, stone on Steinware Avenue, built 1776, was conducted first classical school in Pennsylvania, west of the Susquehanna. Southeast corner of Washington and High Streets was the first home of Pennsylvania College, established in 1832, now northwest of the town on a beautiful campus. Main building, Old Dorm, is fine colonial architecture. Jenny Wade War Museum near Cemetery shows bullet marks, home of only citizen killed during the battle, has collection of relics and curios. Artists of note born here are Charles Morris Young and Leighton Bueller. The battlefield covered 16,000 acres, not including cavalry field 4 miles east. Union Army was commanded by General George G. Meade, 80,000 to 90,000 men. Confederate Army, commanded by General Robert E. Lee, about 80,000 to 85,000 men. Desperate charges were made in hand-to-hand conflicts. The cyclorama Battle of Gettysburg, painted by Paul Philippotteau, is on exhibition. The Gettysburg Battlefield Memorial Association was incorporated by the legislature of Pennsylvania to hold and preserve the battleground, with natural and artificial defenses, as at time of battle, and to mark definitely lines of battle of all troops. It is now a national park and cemetery, in charge of a commission, appointed by the Secretary of War, including over 7,000 acres with 50 miles of macadam roads, amid most beautiful scenery. Here we have the greatest number of memorials in Pennsylvania, erected by the various states. Among the 404 monuments and 894 markers are the National Monument, white granite, 4 figures at base, representing war, history, peace, plenty. Shaft supports Statue of Liberty. All figures are of Italian marble, carved in Italy. Sculptor Randolph Rogers. Bronze equestrian statue, General George Gordon Meade. Near center of line of battle, sculptor H. K. Bush Brown. Bronze equestrian statue, General John Sedgwick, north of Little Round Top. Sculptor H. K. Bush Brown. Bronze equestrian statue, General Winfield Scott Hancock, East Cemetery Hill. Sculptor F. L. Well. Bronze equestrian statue, General Henry W. Slocum, on Stevens Knoll, near Culp's Hill. Sculptor E. C. Potter. Bronze statue, General John F. Reynolds, at entrance to National Cemetery. Sculptor J. Q. A. Ward. Bronze statue, General Alexander Stewart Webb. Sculptor J. Massey Rind, placed at the bloody angle where Pickett's charge was halted and beaten back. General Webb was the officer in command at this spot. Bronze statue, General Warren, on Little Round Top. Sculptor Gerhardt. Pennsylvania State Monument, double arch, 110 feet high, 80 feet square at base, crowned with dome surmounted by a bronze Victory. 8 bronze statues at base of Ionic columns. Lincoln, sculptor J. Otto Schweitzer. Curtin, sculptor W. Clark Nobel. Meade, sculptor Lee O. Laurie. Hancock, sculptor Cyrus P. Dallin. Pleasanton, sculptor J. Otto Schweitzer. Reynolds, sculptor Lee O. Laurie. D. McM. Gregg, sculptor J. Otto Schweitzer. Birney, sculptor Lee O. Laurie. Bronze tablets around base contain names of every soldier of Pennsylvania in battle at Gettysburg, 34,530. New York State Monument, tall granite shaft, supporting bronze Statue of Liberty, with 4 bronze battle reliefs in pedestal. Bronze trophy, state shield, and corps badges at base of shaft. Sculptor Caspar Buberl. Vermont State Monument, fluted shaft surmounted by statue of General George J. Stannard. Irish Brigade Monument, Celtic cross with Irish hound at base. Sculptor Rudolph O'Donovan. In the National Cemetery are buried 3,589 Union soldiers. It was dedicated November 1863, when President Lincoln delivered his immortal address, ending, "This nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, and for the people, shall not perish from the earth." 50th anniversary of the battle, fought July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, 1863, was celebrated here in 1913 by reunion of veterans. The Russell Tavern, now a residence on Old Shippensburg Road, 3 miles north of Gettysburg, is where Washington stopped in 1794 after quelling the Whiskey Rebellion. In Cashtown, the Civic League has formed a recreation park, using the old tavern for a library. West of this town is the old Pittsburgh and Philadelphia Pike, used by both armies during the Civil War. Conewago Mission at Edgegrove was established in 1741 by 2 Jesuit missionaries. Present church, colonial, stone, was built in 1787. Enlarged 1851. Paintings over the altar and in the transepts were made by Francis Stecker. Roman Catholic missions were established within a radius of 20 miles from this mother house. End of section 32.